a finale, our 26th episode of Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's been a long journey, but we are coming to a close soon. Actually, not even close, if we're being honest, because we have some movies, and God, movies take forever to get there, so we're not even close. We got plenty more content still kind of go through. This is the end of the actual TV version. I know I've heard a lot of things over time of it not feeling like complete, or like things like people having problems with the ending and like a whole bunch of other things, which like based on the last episode and how it went and like the direction, if we take it similarly going into this one, I can definitely see that happening, and the movie being a necessary reason for them to kind of close up a lot of these holes in the things that they still have that they didn't really have a chance to kind of go into up to this point. And then also having a rebuild series probably to rework a lot of that stuff that they actually ended up doing would make plenty of sense to me. So if I just go into this, I don't know if it's going to be something too crazy or if it's literally just going to be something similar to what we got in the last episode, which honestly would make plenty of sense if they do that again. And we'll just see what happens. So hopefully you guys do enjoy, though. If you like it all, like and subscribe to me lots. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave comments with this episode or series. Let's get going with the finale of our TV version of Neon Genesis Evangelion, episode 26. So are the okay, so like a continuation before. I was gonna say, are they just saying like we don't have enough time to tell you everything that we need to, and we kind of rush through things, so we'll just give you this for now. It's so fun how similar they all, like every character is. It's so different though. So let's just make them one. Yeah, can we put him in the chair and question him? Because I got questions. Are they really censoring the hand holding there? Oh, somebody else has said that line at one point. Yep. So we stay across the tough barriers. All for the hope of never, all for the hope of not being hurting yourself in the process. And the only worth that you have is the praise and things that you can gain from others by doing the things you're told. Yep. Can you though? I'm sorry, I fucking hate you. If I don't even like myself, how can I expect others to, you know?
エヴァに乗ると褒めてくれるんだ。いや、どっちも本当の気持ちだ。だからエヴァに乗るのね。 今の僕にはエヴァしかないから。
そうしないと自分が保てないのね。確か
Mm.
にエヴァ初号機はあなたの心の一部だわ。
けどエヴァにすがっているとエヴァそのものがあなた自身になってしまう。
ほんと僕には何にもなかったんだ。習っていたチェロだって何にもならなかったんだ。
自分から何もしなかっただけじゃない。
Yep.
でも今はエヴァに乗れるんだ。
で、そのうちエヴァがなければ何もできなくなるのよ。私みたい。
It consumes you and becomes who you are. Yeah, that's all I have.
みんな大嫌い。何を願うの？何が欲しい？
Oh, we're back here. We're back here.
私を嫌わないで。
怖いものは
欲しいものは
そばにいてもいいの。
ここにいてもいいの。私のこと好き。
To be accepted, to have that place of belonging, to be loved by someone else.
行きたくない。
お父さんのところへ行かないの？行きたくない。
Because there's no place for me there.
嫌われるのが怖いから。
私が消えてしまう。
If that's like your last option of a thing to go back to, and you go back, and you get turned away, what's really left for you, you know?
その前に欲しいんだ。僕に価値が欲しいんだ。誰も僕を捨てない。大事にしてくれるだけの。
So I'll try as hard as I can so he can't abandon me.
がないのよ。自分の価値を。
僕には価値がない。
And you prove your worth by doing.
ではあなたは何？
僕だ。僕を他人に見せている形。僕という記号だ。これもみんな僕を表すものに過ぎない。僕を他人に認識させているものに過ぎない。じゃあ僕ってなんだ？
あなたはあなた。ただあなた
I love the sketches alone.
境目があるの。
そうだ。僕の服、僕の靴、僕の部屋。それらが僕の一部。
But are they also things that you want or things for others to perceive you in a certain way?
僕は僕自身でしかないのか。でも僕はわからない。
Mm.
僕はどこにいるんだ？僕って何なんだ？
誰もあんたのことなんてわかんないわよ。あなたのことをいたわり理解できるのはあなた自身しかいないのよ。だから自分を大事にして
Mm.
そんなこと言ったって自分がないんだ。わからないんだ。大事にできるわけないよ。
やはり不安なのよ。
Absolutely.
変化の連続でできている。何よりもあなたの心次第でいつでも変わるものなのよ。
Mm-hmm.
何者にも束縛されない自由の世界だよ。これが自由？そう、自由の世界。
It's the void state.
何もない。
Yeah.
僕が考えない限り。
そう、あなたが考えない限り。
You don't have to think of any of the unpleasant things ever. And you'll never know what to do.
自分のイメージがないのね。
漠然としすぎてる。
何もつかめ
You're
ない。
just plain.
どうしたらいいんですか？
不自由をやろう。
ほら、これで天地ができた。
Mm.
でもこれで自由が一つ消えた。あなたは地に立たなければならない。
だが君は安心する。
自分の心が少し楽に
And
な
that's
った。
why we
そ
build.
して歩いてみる。
それはあなたの意志。
世界の位置を変えることもできるさ。
そして世界の位置も常に同じところではないの。
時の流れとともに変わっていく。
I really love the style of this. I just want to say.
お前をかたどっているのはお前自身の心とその周りの世界だからな。
Mm.
だってこれはあなたの世界ですもの。
あなたが捉えている現実の形なのよ。
何もない世界。僕の他には何もない世界。
A world where nothing is expected of you.
自分がなくなっていく感じ。
But you feel like nothing when you're
存在
here.
が消えていく。
ここにはあなたしかいないからよ。
僕しかいないから。
自分以外の存在がないとあなたは自分の形がわからないからよ。
Mm-hmm.
形。
見ることで自分の形を知っている。他の人との壁を見ることで自分の形をイメージしている。
I want to be more like this person. I want to be more like this. And you can.
人がいるから自分がいられるんじゃないか。一人
That's, I mean,
どこまで行ってもいいんじゃないか。世界はみんな僕だけだ。
違う人間なのよ。
そう、僕は僕だ。ただ他の人た たちが僕の心の形を作っているのも確かなんだ。
そうよ、碇シンジ君。やっとわかったの？バカシンジ。バカシンジ。
なんだ、まさか。
なんだとは何よ。こうして毎朝遅刻しないように起こしに来てやってるのに、それが幼馴染に捧げる感謝の言葉？
うん、ありがとう。
もうさっさと起きなさいよ。
Oh my god. And the pen punch, unbelievable. You have a family and everything. This is fucked. This is actually fucked.
なたも新聞ばかり読んでないでさっさと支度してください。
ああ、分かってるよ、ゆい。
In the South Pole base.
しなさいよ。
It's the same. This is fucking. I don't know. I don't even know what to say or feel right now. I feel like I've been duped. No, I wonder who it's gonna be.
ここも来年は遷都されて新たな首都になるんですもの。どんどん人は増えていくわよ。
そうだね。どんな子かな。可愛い子だったらいいな。
This is a disaster. Ah, classic. A classic.
ごめんね、マジで急いでたんだ。
So different and expressive, though.
見たんか、その女のパンツ。別に見たってわけじゃ。ちらっとだけ。朝っぱらから運のええやっちゃな。
The whole fucking squad back together. I know. Your girl's right here, bro. And you're talking like that. Unbelievable.
尻に敷かれるタイプだな。当時って。
Yeah, yeah. Who's talking, buddy? What's your role in all this now?
やっぱいいな、ミサト先生は。
I'm happy to see the boys, though. It's been a minute, you know, since they were fucking goofy together. It's so extra, too. Yeah, answer that, answer that.
これも一つの世界。僕の中の可能性。
Okay, and we're just gonna pull. I was thinking, okay.
言えるんだ。
Right,
そうだ。エヴァのパイロットではない僕もありえるんだ。
right.
そう思えばこの現実世界も決して悪いもんじゃないわ。
Oh my fucking god.
ないかもしれない。でも自分は嫌いだ。
と置き換える場所、これらが少し違うだけで心の中は大きく変わるわ。
真実は人の数だけ存在する。
Mm-hmm.
君の真実は一つ。世界観なんてちっぽけなもんや。
Right.
人はその自分の小さな物差しでしか物事を測れない。
Sure.
与えられた他人の真実でしか物事を見ようとしない。晴れの日は気分よく、雨の日は憂鬱。
The classics, you know?
そう思い込んでしまう。
Right.
だって楽しいことはあるのに。
Without actually figuring out who you are at the core and what it is. Mm-hmm.
ことに慣れていないだけだ。
だからそうやって人の顔色ばかり伺う必要なんてないのよ。
でも、みんな僕が嫌いじゃない。
That's how you've perceived things to be. Were you just not listening to anything?
だけじゃないの。
でも、僕が嫌いなんだ。
Alright, so work on fixing that, buddy.
他人を好きに
Right.
信頼する。
So work on yourself.
僕は卑怯で、臆病で、ずるくて。
That's fine. At least you recognize that.
優しくできるでしょう。
僕は僕が嫌いだ。でも好きになれるかもしれない。
That's all you need. And we break through slowly.
僕はここにいたい。
I want to find who I am, so it's okay for me to be here. Yes. And we shatter. Congratulations, buddy. You finally found the answer. Your reason for fighting, your reason for everything that you've done up to this point. The answer we've been waiting on for so long. Well done. Congrats, buddy. Congrats. Thank you, Pen Pen. Typically, we end a series, or we end this part of it, right? Prior to us getting into movies and doing these things. And we sit back and we talk a little bit about the episode, and then at the end we have a discussion overall about my feelings on a lot of things, aspects regarding the series as a whole. But I just don't feel that's right to do right now. Maybe it's my perceptions, my ideas and understandings of what the movie itself would likely end up being, that I feel we must wait till then for that to come. But I don't know, maybe it also could be just the ending of this. It makes me almost feel like I don't need to or don't want to do that. And even here, we might not go directly. We'll go into the episode actually a little bit. But it's one of those, it's a really interesting end. And it's one of those, I think I need to, I'll go through my edit, really sit down and think. So anything that I say here, this is all like first impression type of thing, right? So anything that I say here is more so based on that. And it's one of those endings of what they're trying to go for makes me, I think, understand the amount of people who really would love that and would really connect with that. Being able to go on these journeys and experiences, see all these characters come to these conclusions over time now, right? And see the evolution of them while slowly peeling back layers and understanding them, the ups and downs and the things that come with them in their lives up to this point. And then being able to really put that into the general message of learning to just love yourself, learning to accept yourself, learning to understand that no matter how low or negative you get about yourself, no matter how low your own confidence ends up being, no matter how low you view yourself on the greater, view of the world and the bigger picture, how minimal you might be and how minimal the impact that you might have is, there's still a place for you, right? There's still a reason for you to live. There's still a you that is out there who can be influential towards others around you. There's still a you who can be influenced by others out there, and just learning to begin to accept yourself, learning to begin to step by step, trying to like yourself even just a little bit more. And if you can slowly understand that, maybe open yourself up a little bit to others, to trust them, maybe not to be used by them, is something that makes it all the more worth it, right? And then I can see the other side, the other crowd. What the fuck was that? There's so many questions left unanswered. There's so many things that were built up, and they literally started the episode and was like, we don't have time to explain all that. So here, we're just going to give you the abridged version of like what's going to happen here. And we're just going to play a little bit psychologically into this. But we're going to leave everything that we built up story-wise, not character-wise, right? This is a character ending. This is a conclusion. This is a ending for the characters. Not an ending, but actually a restart for the characters. This is the beginning for them, for Shinji specifically, and any of the others that can contribute and fully understand and grasp what he's kind of come to in this conclusion that he has. This is the starting line of where he will now begin after fully finding himself. And everything else plot-wise that kind of goes up to this point, disregarding, say, the character of Shinji, disregarding the other characters, say, themselves, and the things that we've been building on more of the character-driven in psychological aspects of this, of really getting into the mind of others, all almost feels like it was there for what purpose, right? It's just kind of thrown out the window. We've spent multiple episodes just building up specific things. I mean, we literally had the creation of Nerve and all that for it to all mean what, right? Like for what? Because none of that got answered. None of it was done in any meaningful conclusion of a way. None of it was properly, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know the right words to put it in, but I can fully see things from two perspectives here of a crowd who loves and a crowd who hates, which I think speaks volumes to why it was so popular. And I went into the initial discussion, the initial intro of the series when we began, and I talked about how I had no knowledge of the series, which I didn't. I only know now up to what we've kind of watched, but I did know it's a very loved series. And I do also know it's a series that isn't as loved by some others, which of course you're going to have. Anything popular, there's going to be plenty of people who hate it. But I was aware that there was a controversial type of feeling overall about certain aspects of the series, what those aspects were and everything. I wasn't sure, but I'd leave it to be now at this point, people being unsatisfied with what they got with the conclusion of this. Now, any of that's yet to be seen, and they can, rework a bunch of this stuff and include a bunch of this stuff, say, when they go into the movie, which likely is going to end up happening because it's literally double the time of these two episodes combined. And if it is like kind of a rework cut almost of these two, would it make plenty of sense, would it not? So plenty of time for them to kind of go into that, and that could change opinions and minds and stuff when we get to that point, but that's yet to be seen. So we will wait on that before we go forward. But interesting enough, I would say too, the other thing I talked about in the intro section was perception of the reasons why I wanted to start watching this series, and the images and the things and the songs and stuff that I heard, and a whole bunch of stuff that kind of related to the series in some sort of way that made me wonder if there was a perception-based thing that could be occurring here, which I'll talk about literally in the first couple minutes of the episode 1. So if you do want to kind of revisit that and hear the things exactly that I said, but I was interested to see if this series, it plays into something along those lines. The way that you perceive yourself, the way that others may perceive you, the way that others perceive certain things to occur within it versus how others take certain things as well. The emotions that some people can get based on the perception, based on the experience, based on the understanding of certain elements of it versus the emotions and the things that others can feel based on other things. And I think they fucking nailed it. If that's what they were going for, I think they fucking nailed it. Because what I initially was under an assumption we could be getting into with this series, I think almost plays out perfect, as I just described before with the two crowds. And I find myself in the middle between them, of accepting and understanding and really loving the idea that we can go on this very lengthy character journey. Somebody like Shinji, somebody like all the other characters within the series, finding themselves, learning to love themselves, accepting that it's okay for them, to learn to like themselves, to be here, to be on this planet, to connect with other people, to try and trust others, to love, to lose. There's so many things that you can play into with it, and really appreciating it and understanding and being thankful and grateful that you get to see a character like that go on his journey to understand that. But then also understanding fully where the other crowd's coming from, the main line of the plot and the things that we were kind of following, not character-driven based things, or they even can be, because a lot of Gendo's intentions and stuff, character-based driven, but having many questions and things left completely unanswered. And maybe they try and play into the idea of none of that mattered. What mattered is how we ended this. What happened with Shinji, what the experience and the growth that we've seen over him and what he's gone through and his understanding and the way that you can relate and connect to that, right? Maybe that's the case. Who the fuck cares what happened after our final attack that we had? Who the fuck cares what any of these plans or the buildups and the things that we had was? Because why does that matter? None of that matters. What mattered was what Shinji ended up going through up to this point. Sure, play into that if you want, but I don't personally like that much. I would prefer if we answered all the other questions and did this on top of it, which maybe the movie itself will kind of explain those. Maybe the rebuild movies will explain them. Who knows? And we have to give it some time before we can get into that. But that's where I find myself stuck in between it. And like I said, I can see this as some people really relating, really connecting. We had an episode recently of Mushoku Tensei that was similar. And not talking about the contents at all of the thing, but where I went through the episode and I said, I think people will absolutely love this episode. I think they will connect extremely hard had they been in a situation that either of the characters presented within the episode would be in. And I scrolled through YouTube, and I don't even watch reactions or anything on that series, and I see a bunch of like thumbnails and titles and stuff talking about people being broken and looking like they're crying and stuff in it. I watched that episode, what, 2-3 times, because I go back, I edit, I did it on my own time, I scrolled back through, I did things. Not once did I feel any emotion through it, which is almost how I feel, or I felt emotions, but emotions in like a state where I was almost sad, or I was overwhelmed with like I don't know, understanding I was in that position before or something, you know what I mean? And it was like I couldn't connect or relate to that scenario at all, and I just couldn't get behind it and invest it emotionally into it. And I almost feel that with this series too, where I feel, especially with the ending here, I can't personally put myself and self-insert myself into Shinji for what he kind of went through. Well, I think the message and the things that they come to the conclusion of by the back end of this is absolutely spot on and absolutely right. And everybody can take something from that and learn. I can't personally put myself in his shoes and feel that I've closed myself from all the displeasant things. I've closed myself from a variety of people in my life. I've been through these things so much that it's kind of broken me as a person, that I struggle to accept who maybe I am, who I perceive myself to be, the love possibly that I have for myself, and my ability to express that outwardly towards others and also invite them into my own world. I cannot personally say that I have felt that, especially in the past years on end now, and maybe even really ever in my life, which I'm beyond thankful that I feel I am enough of a person that has not had a thing that has occurred to me yet. But I know a variety of people, and I'm guaranteeing that there's tons of people, thousands of people who have watched this, who can put themselves in in his shoes, who can see themselves in him, who can take things, those lessons that he's understanding here, even the abridged thing that I have said before, where maybe none of this matters and the whole journey was just bringing you to that point so somebody like that can create that conclusion. Maybe you feel the same way. Who the fuck cares about everything that's been built up, or the things I've heard around me, the noise that has happened in my life up to this point? I am him in that point. I can self-insert Shinji and be like, yes, I need to feel this way, or I need to take a page out of his book here, what he's come to, the resolution that he's come to, and move forward in my own life and apply that. And I think that's fucking wonderful if you can. I just personally can't, but I'm just saying, if you can, I can see you getting really invested emotionally. I can see you being completely overwhelmed with what this episode does and mentally kind of drains you. Just doesn't do that for me. And I think that possibly could be the reason. And I don't know though, because there's plenty of media I've watched over the years where I don't think I can insert myself into the scenario that a lot of characters do, and I get completely overwhelmed with emotions. But I don't know, this wasn't one of those things, and I don't know if it was intended to, right? I don't know if they wrote this in a way that was trying to, or if it was this situation where there's a group of people this will really hit, and that's our intention. That's our target audience here. And if it branches out to others, that's cool. But it's not like this is supposed to be very emotional for every viewer kind of involved. But I don't know, regardless of what it was, that's just kind of the initial takeaway I think almost I have of it. We can scroll a little bit through the episode. I don't think I'm going to have too much extra I really want to add to it, but we can scroll a little bit through. It's a lot of the same. A lot of what we got before, a lot of what I've already touched on and talked. Struggling to accept himself, plenty of people not liking themselves, not liking any aspects or things about themselves, closing themselves off, allowing others to perceive them as things that they're actually not, doing things that you're instructed by others, doing things because you think that's all you are, doing things because you think people won't like you if you don't, instead of accepting the things that you have chosen to do, who you actually are, what you actually want to do. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of the same things, the things that have been constantly talked about for so many episodes on end now, especially all of last episode too. We go into this style, which I can't tell if it's like a production falling apart, we have no budget, let's just trust a bunch of sketches and stuff, or if this is like real stylistic choices that I'm not really grasping to, which also could make sense going to the rawest form of what a person really is. of what these visions and these conversations and stripping you down to absolutely nothing really, right? Feels like could be a scenario like that, but maybe not. I don't know. I like the styles. Some of them, I mean, maybe went on for a little long and stuff, but even like when we go into like the school scene and stuff that we have later, I don't know. I actually enjoy it. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. I really like this. Like talk about your freedom, and then we draw the line, and now you're stuck to the ground, and you no longer lose that. You lose an aspect of it. So of course, all these things around you can kind of form around you in your world, but the things and objects and space around you is what form you as a person, and you kind of need that stuff, which is all entirely true for sure, especially the people that you surround yourself with and everything. And then Shinji realizing that it is okay and being like, what the fuck? And then waking up. I thought I got completely duped here. I'm not even going to lie. I didn't even view this as like he's in a state where he's viewing this as a separate option or something. I literally was just like, they're just going to wake us up and be like, yeah, none of that fucking mattered. He was actually just, this is actually his real life. And he was having the worst nightmare you've ever fucking seen in your life. Having all the inclusions of like the pen stuff. I was like, dude, this is fun. I hate this. Like, why are they doing this? It was fun to get a little thing between everybody like this though. That was cool. Cute little moments between all the characters. Ray being entirely different. Oh, the characters all look at Masato, of course. Then we go into like the little style like this, which is very fun in my opinion, as he observes on the outside. But we break free, That's a good reality. That's one that you might like and you might enjoy, But there's plenty of other ways. There's plenty of other truths in life. There's plenty of other things to take in, hold upon, build up who you actually are. And finally, he's able to get to a point where he learns it's okay for him to be himself, It's okay for him to learn to be himself, that he is him, that the other things that he perceives, the way that he perceives people loving him, the way that he perceives the things that he needs to do to make people like him or view him in a certain way, and his concern for how others view him on the outside, emotions or just anything involved, gets that reality almost shattered, that it is okay if that's not the case, that it is okay for him to accept and enjoy the things that he wants, to find who he actually is and accept himself slowly over time. Of course, congratulations to you, buddy. The only thing I don't understand about this is we have so many fucking broken characters in this. So why are they all congratulating him? And why are they all like yelling at him? Like when Asuka was like, it took you that long to fucking get this? And all the characters kind of comforting him by the back end too, before, like right before the scene. Like they have so many broken things that none of them have been able to come to that conclusion of. So why are they not also, like, why are they present in the scenario? They should also be like surrounded by him, being congratulated for hearing him out and probably coming to that conclusion themselves. Or if they never did, not present at all, almost it feels like. I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't going to have too much on that, but that's the little bit that I have. I don't have too much more. I think I really want to go into that. I'll definitely rewatch it. We'll go through the movie. We'll see what exactly is kind of connected and not within these few episodes. And maybe I'll have a bunch more to say overall about the series prior to getting into the rebuilds, which I think I likely will. So we'll end up going off, and I'll just kind of call it there. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you liked it, all like and subscribe to me a lot to me. Feel free to check out the videos and channel. Leave me comments about this episode or series. We'll be back very soon for the end of Evangelion. Hope you guys have a great one. Peace.